In this lesson, you will learn how living things produce energy if oxygen is absent. Overall, when there is a lack of oxygen available, living things can still produce energy, but a lot less than if oxygen were present. The process of producing energy in the form of ATP when there is no oxygen present is called anaerobic respiration, or sometimes called fermentation. There are two kinds of anaerobic respiration: lactic acid fermentation or alcohol fermentation. In this lesson, we will review both and give an example of each. When you think of lactic acid fermentation, think of sore muscles. The reason you get sore is because during extremely strenuous activity or prolonged activity, the mitochondria are working furiously to create ATP so that your muscles can keep up. If you run out of a good supply of oxygen in these muscles, such as during sustained exercise, maybe that the muscles are not used to, they will be forced to depend on the alternative of aerobic respiration in order to continue working. This alternative process involves glucose. Taking a look at the picture, glucose is being converted into 2-pyruvate molecules, which then produces lactate, or another word for lactic acid. This process continues as long as there is no oxygen present, and these cells, if they still require energy. In the process of producing lactic acid, an important molecule is regenerated to allow the body to continue glycolysis. This important molecule is NADH. Ultimately, it is the production and buildup of lactic acid in your muscles that cause you to feel sore. To get rid of this soreness, simply stretch and rework those muscles so that blood can reach the area and carry away this waste product. Lactic acid is not the only waste product of fermentation, however. There's one more type of fermentation, and this one produces ethanol, a type of alcohol, as its waste product. This process occurs mostly in yeast cells and in the absence of oxygen, of course. So let's remember no oxygen available. This is anaerobic. This process of alcohol fermentation is commonly known in the process of making beer or wine. Compared to aerobic respiration, it is also very inefficient in producing energy, only creating 2 ATP overall as compared with 36 ATP created when oxygen is present. Alcohol fermentation also regenerates NADH in the absence of oxygen, I should say. But in this case, instead of producing lactic acid, the byproduct is ethanol. If too much of this ethanol builds up, it will eventually kill the organism. So in summary, 2 types of fermentation: respiration without the availability of oxygen are lactic acid fermentation and alcohol fermentation.